Hello and welcome to today's episode of our Club by Club Talent League previews. And today we're focusing on the Oakleigh Chargers, who are coming off quite a disappointing season in terms of where we usually expect them to be. And to dissect their squad for 2025 is Craft the Draft analyst Jonty Smith. Jonty, how are you, mate?
Yeah, really good. Really excited to see what Oakleigh can produce in 2025.
Well, obviously they're coming off a season that would be quite disappointing from their talent pathways point of view. Now, they did have two of the top three selections drafted and a couple more in the national draft and rookie drafts, but 4 wins to their season, finishing 13th after what has been a strong period for them over probably the 10, 14 years prior. What kind of factors did you put down to maybe their little, we'll hope it's a lull of a season?
Yeah, a little bit of a lull, perhaps. I think they'd more so look at the number of players that got drafted and be really happy with the output there. Like you said, that they were able to get those players drafted. But yeah, from a win-loss point of view, they just decimated more than any other club, including Sandy, who are close by the loss of players to private school footy. They play with essentially two different teams throughout the year. They've got their team that plays the first 3 games and the last 7 games, or depending how far they progress into finals, their last sort of 3 or 4 games. And then they've got a team that plays the middle block, and there's usually only 3 or 4 players that overlap each year. And I think each of the last 2 years, they haven't managed to win in that middle period of the year. So that makes things really, really difficult for them, just given the strength of their squad in between and the fact that they do then have to go and play APS or AGSV footy through the middle of the year. So I think that's the main factor when you look at win-loss. But yeah, I think they'd still be pretty pleased with the number of players that they're able to get drafted.
Well, taking a look at their squad for 2025 and a position that they've been able to, I guess, churn a lot of strong talent at is key position players, tall forwards, tall backs, rucks, on top of the midfielders that they seem to spruik every year as well. But Louis Emmett is going to be a name of great focus for the Chargers in 2025, just given his ability, not only as a ruckman, but ground level threat once the ball hits the deck after those contests, and his versatility as a potential forward as well. He's certainly going to be one that's going to excite fans looking to potentially get a key tall who can play a number of positions at the end of the year.
Yeah, he ran his 2-kilometre time trial for the Oakleigh Chargers in a time of 6 minutes and 6 seconds, which is absolutely unbelievable for a key position prospect. If he was a midfielder, you'd say those numbers are unbelievable. So to do it when you're standing at 199 centimetres is, preposterous. I think for him, the really interesting thing is where he settles positionally, because at 199 centimetres, although we've seen him play some really strong footy in the ruck, his ability around the grounds is really good in terms of taking marks, and he can get involved as that fourth midfielder with his mobility at ground level. He's probably only going to be secondary ruck at AFL level, so we probably want to see a little bit more of him forward in 2025, just to prove that he's got the ability to impact there, take a contested mark and kick the goals, and his leading patterns are all assured, because that's going to be more his role at AFL level unless he's able to grow a little bit more. So yeah, expect Oakleigh to play him a mix of in the ruck and also up forward. And then playing for Vic Metro, he's lucky that there's Cooper Duff-Tytler there that he'll be able to play alongside, and Miles Tyra as well will be part of that squad. So they're blessed for tools, which will hopefully allow Louis Emmett to be released to play the position, which allows him to best showcase his weapons and show to recruiters what he can do at the next level.
And we talk about some of the other names that will put themselves in the spotlight for Oakleigh this year. So maybe some of the players who couldn't quite break into or didn't get the longest looks of midfield action, given they had the likes of Jagger Smith, Tom Gross, Finn O'Sullivan last year. And some of them had their absences throughout the season. It gave us some glimpses into the likes of Sam Allen, Aaron Sharkey, Sam Grill, Jack Ison, who maybe played more flank positions, and now will put their case forward for those inside midfield roles. Who do you see as the standouts among that group, and what do you see in the strengths from those 4?
Yeah, the one I'm really excited to see is Sam Grill. I really liked what I saw from him last year. I watched him in a preseason match. He absolutely tore it up, and then he sort of carried that form on to the rest of the season. The word out of Oakleigh is he's one of the hardest working players in the squad, and I think that really shows with how good he is fundamentally, because, he's so clean below his knees, and then he hits the ball at pace. We saw it on AFL Grand Final Day in that Under-17s Futures Showcase, that he hits the ball at pace, he gets it cleanly, and then it gives him a lot of time with ball in hand to make make a really sound decision, and his kicking efficiency is generally quite high as a result, and he makes good decisions. So I think he's got a lot of factors working for him. He can play off half back. We saw that last year. But yeah, what he can do in the midfield is something which I'm looking forward to seeing, and no doubt we'll see it a little bit this year. He's probably the one that really excites me. And then the other ones are really strong options as well, and could certainly put their name on the map given their status as being involved in the Vic Metro Summer Hub. So we'll start with Jack Ison. He's the one that's linked to Carlton. He's a Carlton Next Generation Academy prospect, so got the opportunity to train at the Blues over the summer, and he's got the ability to play multiple positions as well, probably a little bit rawer than some of the others, but his upside is perhaps a little bit higher if he is able to show that improvement throughout 2025. Sam Allen and Aaron Sharkey both showed what they could do in terms of covering the ground on the outside last year, and they've got the sort of physical ability to now go into the midfield and I think really impose themselves in there. So looking forward to seeing what they can do, particularly Aaron Sharkey. And Sam Allen's probably, more of that running type of player who is, really disciplined and understands the running patterns of the wing, and will get some time on the inside to show his ball winning and ball use as well.
So I think this year's squad might be a bit more open up to the bottom ages, and hopefully they get a good look of some of those 17-year-olds who will have their eye on the 2026 draft, who are the Oakleigh Chargers bottom ages that onlookers should be keeping an eye on this year.
Yeah, the two to really look out for based on their under-16s National Championships carnival are Flynn Woolhouse and Jack Pousty. They both really impressed at that carnival, and I know the word coming out of the Chargers is that they're probably the two leading contenders, but they've got sort of 6 or 7 in that bracket as well. Probably another top ager that's worth just putting on the radar as well. He's not a winger. He's more of a swingman, and he'll probably play down back. But Max Kondo-Jarnis is another one who works really hard and reads the ball really well in flight, can take some marks, plays probably a little bit taller than he is. So look for him down back to show some really promising signs. And Ben Ferguson is another one. He's returning from an ACL injury as a top ager, and will hopefully be able to show what he can do and hit the ground running, really build into the season, and put his name on draft radars.
Well, the Chargers will start their season against the Cannons before a game against the Knights, and then that highly anticipated yearly clash against Sandringham. So it's going to be quite interesting to see how they start their season after their 2024 campaign, and the names that will put their, feet forward early and press for early draft plaudits. That'll wrap up today's episode covering the Oakleigh Chargers. Jonty, thanks for covering that for us.
No worries. Thanks, Mitch.
You can catch all the rest of our club-by-club previews on Zero Hanger's YouTube page, and head to zerohanger.com for all the latest draft news and analysis.